Welcome to the Austin LGBT Chamber of Commerce podcast. We're going to talk local business news around the city. We're going to talk about the Statesman PUD. You ask yourself, what in the world's a PUD? Stay tuned. Also, city grants for childcare and other local business news. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome everyone. As always, welcome to the show, Colton and Amy. How are y'all?
Good.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Yay! Happy we didn't burn up in flames this week.
It kind of felt like it.
Just melted.
Just a little bit, just a little puddle. Yeah, it's been the heat's been unbearable, but we didn't get hit with the tornadoes like some of our friends did around the state, so that's good. Dallas has had power outages for the last day. Thousands upon thousands.
Temple looked terrible too.
It's just proof that God loves Austin.
Yeah.
More than the rest.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a big show ahead with local news, headlines, things that are happening in the chamber world. But first, let's take a little message from our sponsor.
Calling all pickleball players ready to take your game to the next level with gear crafted right here in Austin? Introducing Pick Sports Gear. Our equipment is expertly designed and passionately made in the heart of this city, known for sports, culture, and innovation. From our top-tier paddles to premium accessories, Pix has you covered for everything you need to dominate the court in style. And for our listeners today, don't forget to use promo code PODCAST10 to enjoy a 10% discount on your entire order. Gear up with Pick Sports Gear today and be prepared for our upcoming clothing line launching later this summer. Show off your Austin-made excellence on the pickleball court. Now go ahead and go play some picks. For more details, visit www.pixsportsgear.com. That's PIXSPORTSGEAR.com. pixsportsgear.com.
Well, in local news headlines, a group is suing Austin to halt the Statesman PUD, which is a planned unit development, in its tracks. The folks over at Save Our Springs has filed a lawsuit aimed at the city for the proposed use of the property just south of the river. It's the old Statesman building for those who've been here a while. The lawsuit claims that the City of Austin violated the Texas Open Meetings Act and the City of Austin charter related to parkland. The group has claimed that there were inconsistencies in procedures that led to the city engaged in the contract zoning to provide special variances to zoning requirements. What? Basically, they're suing because they don't want the project to move forward. Earlier this year, a judge sided in favor of the court when they challenged that the city acted unlawfully in creating the actual financing mechanism around this PUD. Yet another acronym is called a TERS. It's the way that area would be taxed, a South Central Waterfront Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone. So the idea was that TERS would come with an affordable housing caveat and green space, which we've talked about. So they sued one time and kind of got that. The judge sided in favor of that. Now they're suing again just to really make sure that the PUD is stopped completely now in its tracks. What do you think?
Boring.
Yeah, that's a lot.
No, but how long has the Statesman been out of that building? Like at least a couple years.
A couple of years. Definitely before COVID. So a good 4 or 5 years now. The Cox family owned the space, sold it to, I think, Endeavor Realty. Endeavor's got this beautiful master plan. You can see the plans over at the ABJ if you look for this article. But it's, a good use of green space, mixed use development versus having, a giant warehouse newspaper building just sitting there.
Empty?
Oh.
Yeah.
What, you don't want an Astrodome in the middle of your city just sitting there getting green?
I mean, I'm sure some of the homeless guys are enjoying hanging out in this, 200,000 square foot empty warehouse.
I'm so tired of hearing about zoning.
It's just remarkable.
Like, ugh. I'm so tired of it. And people get so amped.
They get really wrapped around
They
the
just
axle.
get really amped. And I'm like, if it's, if it's written on paper, oh, yeah, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Where things change, like things change when someone applies for something, and then it changes within, like, oh, well, that changed
Yeah.
because I applied for it. Like,
It's a great location.
It's a great location.
I mean, not when it's empty.
Well,
but-
yeah, and the plans look fantastic, and the group was willing to work with the city around providing additional green space, parkland, really beautifying that area that butts right up to the water, rather than building sidewalk to sky of just a boring square building.
we love going to court. in this
Apparently, we
town.
just, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate that it always has to come down to a lawsuit. So I just don't know what's their other use of plans that they want for that space. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what Save Our Springs has in mind.
Yeah, because there's not a spring there, so I don't know what they're saving right there.
Yeah.
I know. Send the hate mail now. Tina at AustinLGBTChamber.com.
Oh my God.
The city is going to evolve, and it's going to provide space and access. But like you look at South Congress. I was down there this last weekend, and there's a Nike store, an Adidas store, an On store coming, a Kim Kardashian store.
Hermes.
Because the real estate is so expensive because we keep taking a turd on any kind of development, which just exacerbates the cost of any existing retail. Yeah, I mean, if we want to just completely, we're going to turn South Congress into like the Domain. It's just all going to be big box brand name stores.
Congress Rodeo Drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Those who get in the way of progress without having a reason or like the next step. Like, what
That's
do
my
you
thing.
want?
Like the things that people choose to get like so hot over. Like it's just let that one slide.
Remember, they got real hot about the stadium, and now look who all goes to the stadium. 20,000 people twice a week.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Housing being built up around it. Transit now being up to that space. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. On a positive note, the city grants for childcare in Travis County taxes. Mayor Kirk Watson voiced support Thursday for a proposed grant program for home-based childcare providers throughout the city as one piece of a countrywide effort to address some of the most persistent affordability issues in Austin. As a further incentive for new home-based operators, the Austin Public Housing is examining other forms of assistance, including a grant program from the Homegrown Childcare Collective that could award about $150,000 to qualifying operators. Earlier this month, too, over at Travis County Commissioner Board, they took the first step in putting a ballot referendum before the voters in November. It's not quite baked yet, but that ballot referendum could generate $77 million in additional revenue from taxes to provide for childcare availability and after-school programs. So that would be a 2.5-cent property tax increase per 100 of a home. So it could be, up to $1,000, $1,500 for the average homeowner in additional tax that would go into the county to provide for childcare facilities. They haven't really defined what that use of funds is going to be and how they're going to do it.
I don't know. I still think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great. I need more details.
Yeah, I get it. But like, if you can find affordable childcare, and when I say affordable, I mean like it actually
Yeah,
fits
it's
in
not
the
a
budget.
second mortgage.
Like you don't have to sacrifice good food at the grocery store. It's terrible childcare. Like I hate to say that, but like affordable childcare is not where you want to drop your kids.
No.
And we got to be better.
Yeah. The problem is like, I remember when my boys were young and they went to daycare, like there was a waiting list back then because you wanted to pick where you wanted your kids to go if you had the luxury to do that. And it was never affordable. It was like another mortgage for them to go. I couldn't wait for them to go to pre-K. But the other piece of it too is just finding, there's not enough childcare facilities. So it's one thing, this is why I want the details. It's one thing to offer a tax on the ballot, but then what are you going to do with the $80 million that you collect? What's the plan? And so I'm waiting to see from Travis County what the actual deployment. Are you going to help stand up new locations?
Right.
Are you going to subsidize the cost for the employees in those, because that's the biggest expense that childcare facilities have, that and insurance. Like what's the use of those funds versus them just sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it says home-based. So is that like in-home childcare facilities?
Yeah, the
Okay.
city is looking at the in-home one. So that's where I ended up dropping my guys off. Is there was a woman down the street. She turned her house into a home facility. She had like 10 kids or whatever she had in there running around and slip and slide on the front lawn, and it was great.
Not anymore.
Because it was in the it'd slip and die in the front lawn. It's so dry now.
Not anymore. Yeah, there's all kinds of restrictions to register home childcare.
Which that's good, right?
I mean, it's good, but like I think just like alternative methods of education, like whether you choose Montessori or not.
Sure.
I think, for those that have kids, like I got some friends that do this. They do like home childcare for families in the neighborhood, and it's usually off the books.
Right.
So there's like a sign, like there's a waiver that you sign, saying like this is, we're gonna help your kid grow to be the best little person that they can be until they can go to school. But like sometimes they need to go down for a nap and pack and play, and like you have to separate the pack and play for them to sleep, which you wouldn't be able to do.
Okay.
Like that's just one example where you're trying to like do the best for the kids that because these are like really close families too.
Sure.
But
It's the background check that I'm interested in.
background check is great, but like I don't know, you hear these horror stories of daycares shutting down because they've got horrible people running them and kids getting hurt and they're overcrowded and
it's the number one barrier for people being able to rejoin the job market.
Like
Right, yeah.
It's not a kennel. Like this isn't like doggy daycare. Like it's got to be structured, and I think we should be putting more money into it.
Yeah.
So especially for early childhood education and stuff. So
yeah, the workforce that we need in Austin, we still don't have, and we're going to need more and more workers. And the biggest barrier to most people rejoining the workforce is early childcare until they're the pre-K years.
well, you're thinking about your future here.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty important to invest.
Yeah.
Much like if you don't want to move into a neighborhood because the taxes are high because of the school district, sorry, tough. Like, but those are the kids that are going to be running your town. So I think it's okay.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. In other boring local business news, a street impact fee is being collected but not yet spent. This is part of the fear I have with the collecting for childcare without actual plans. So through none of the money has been spent that has been collected from the street impact fee. We're talking $17 million in roadway capacity dollars that those fees have been part of development's desire to pay for itself. There was a big vote a couple of years ago here in town about street impact fees. Those who were for it were like, we need this. We're going to use the money to help mitigate the impact of this development, or we're going to use those fees in other areas. But yet, they haven't spent any of it yet.
What is this? Was this a tax that was voted on?
Basically, it was a tax in a way. It was a fee that if you were building like this giant building that's next to us, if you took over a roadway, right, you had an impact on the street, you had a higher volume.
Okay, yes.
You could pay a fee in lieu of, and that money would go into this, quote, street impact fee. And you could use that in other parts of town that maybe weren't getting enough tax dollars or enough attention.
Just a cool 17 mil.
Just 17 million, just sitting there.
Just sitting there getting dusty.
Yeah. This is why I want plans beyond the idea of what's the plan of use?
Spend it.
I would like to make a motion for that 17 million to go to the chamber.
Yes.
Well, and it should go to so there was the corridor money that we voted for in the bond in the 2017 bond. It feels so long ago. It was $720 million we voted for as a community, overwhelming. And we were going to use it to broaden and make better Burnett Road, South Lamar, I think it was William Cannon. There was some corridors that are high use corridors, and we were supposed to make them multimodal, have pedestrian refuge, trees along the side. And we've not done any of those projects yet.
Where are those guys that like to sue?
And so, right? And so you've got, and now they say that corridor program is saying that, well, we can't do those projects now because now it's more expensive. Well, I just found you $17 million that you can add to that bucket.
I love getting a settlement check in the mail. Like, come on. Just divvy it up. Just divvy it up evenly. No big deal. Everybody gets a portion of the pie. If we're not spending it, at least put it back in my bank account.
But the good news in transportation-related city news is the city auditor's office spent time and money to uncover a whopping $5.99 in credit card fraud by a transportation staffer who rented a movie and then photoshopped the receipt to make it look like it was a training video for his staff. So forget the $17 million and the $720 million sitting on the shelf. Let's go uncover $5.99 in fraud.
OMG.
Oh, man. That's...
What? There's $720 million in fraud
I think
happening.
I need to keep my mouth shut on this one.
Redbox.
Yeah, we were defrauded out of $720 million plus the 17 in impact fees because we've voted for those. We've collected some of those dollars. We have access to the 720. We haven't done anything with them. That's fraud.
$5.99.
Yeah. I forget. It was like a movie. Like it was like it was one of those Keanu Reeves movies he rented. And probably just did it on accident. And then was like, you know what? I'm just going to forge the receipt and turn it in.
He may have not even
Not recommended.
realized.
Oh, no. He went out of his way to forge the receipt. He photoshopped it instead of just like.
So how much like
saying,
time
like, man, I
and
used the wrong
effort did
card.
we spend?
Right?
And like public officials that were basically having to track this down.
$5.
Like an investigation. Wow, you did it though. You got him.
You got it.
Good job. $5.99. Like when I had a corporate card at my last job, even like our accounts team would be like, "Hey, your card doesn't seem to be working. Can you like go buy a bag of chips and a soda?
Make sure it works.
Yeah. Like, what do you think that cost me? Probably $5.99. So
Well, they would have busted your ass.
I'm
at the
surprised
city.
they didn't shut down. I'm
Yeah.
like, we may have had a work from home day because the city would have just $5.99. We can't.
I mean,
Wow.
I just don't even know what to do with that.
So he lost his job
So no,
and was asked
he
to
was-
pay
he
the
was-
$5.99 back.
I think he did not lose his job. I think he apologized prophetically for forging the receipt. He would have been better just to turn in the receipt or just to be
And
like,
then like, whoops.
yeah. But no, and I think they took his credit card privileges away.
So this person is a graphic designer with the
Right?
City
There's
of Austinn.
untapped potential.
It says transportation staffer.
transportation staffer. But who knows what they did in transport? Obviously,
Yeah.
they didn't build any roads or
Well-
bike lanes because that hasn't happened for 720.
Because if they're not a graphic designer, that means they're paying $30 a month of their own money for Photoshop.
True. Or they build that on their credit card and the auditor didn't see that. I don't know. I still think the $720 million not being utilized is a bigger freaking fraud than $5.99. But who am I to judge? What do we have in local chamber news?
Calling all.
Oh,
What?
You rang. It is almost Pride Month. So we've got lots of fun events and rainbow ribbon cuttings coming up. Register now to secure your seat for our June luncheon at the Headliners Club. There are less than 10 seats left.
ooh, FOMO homo.
And it's like double the size of our usual luncheons.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing this, register now. There will probably be even less than that by the time this podcast airs.
True.
Yeah, you're going to get cheap parking too for the day. So
Yeah, discounted parking
I
and
say just
registration.
take the day off. Just take the day off and come hang with us and just leave your car there.
I like it.
You
You
can't
can-
beat it.
I mean,
Then you
y'all
can
have
come
to work the whole day.
Well, we also don't have to pay for parking.
It's true.
But if they hang out all day, then they can go to happy hour with us.
That's even better.
And that's a really cute Wednesday.
Yeah.
But Deirdre and Jackie with IGC will be speaking on how to properly engage with the LGBTQIA plus community year round and what we need to be thinking about as we approach election season and the next Texas legislative session.
Oh, boy. Yep. This is going to be a good one.
Gonna be a good one.
We need it, y'all.
I mean, they're fighting with each other this week. It's great.
We
I
need
love
this
it.
conversation. Like, you need to hear this from them. So,
They're so great. We will be at the Long Center on June 7th at 2 p.m. for an Alicia Keys and John Legend tribute show. Yes.
I'm loving that.
With our friend and member, Mike B. The Label. We'll be officially welcoming Mike and the Label Consulting and Management LLC to the chamber with a rainbow ribbon cutting.
Very cool. Alicia Keys. Ooze is cool.
Icon.
I mean,
And they're
it's
both
not
so
her,
good.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
still going to be great.
And there are still tickets available. You can find those on our website on the events page. On June 13th, we will be at Sassy Threads. Sassy Threads is a new clothing store brought to you by the brains behind member businesses Scissor Sisters Hair Show and Sidekick Vintage. We are so excited to welcome them and their new venture.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. It's like curated vintage. I don't know. I'm into it.
Oh, there's a lot that are into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have really great taste too.
Yeah. So I hope we get paid.
I know it's a
close to-
cliche, but
If we get paid a little closer to the 13th, that'd be cute. And then,
I know where you can get $720 million.
okay, I'll call him. And then on June 17th, we will be at Out Wellness for a rainbow ribbon cutting. There will be live music and a drag show. So come hang out with us on June 17th.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then the last one I have for today, join us June 20th at Rain on 4th for our monthly chamber happy hour. For more upcoming events, visit AustinLGBTChamber.com and click events. And we are in the process of adding more events for June. So stay tuned.
Yeah, Pride Month's going to be a fun one. Going to be a hot one.
It's so hot.
Events going on in Lockhart.
Oh my word. You have no idea.
Yeah.
We have like a whole week of events.
That's great.
We have a Lockhart, Caldwell, Pride of Caldwell County
Okay.
is what we call it. Because if you've ever been out that way, you know the only thing happening is Lockhart. So if you don't live in Lockhart, then you know where to come.
Yes. Yeah.
You're probably in Dale or Martindale or Luling or
Our
Chippendale.
all the Dales.
Chippendales. Our member calendar is like basically a huge Pride calendar right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So-
if you're not checking out the calendar, you're really like, if you're like, I don't know what to do this weekend. There's loads. There's loads going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be hot, so please hydrate.
Please hydrate.
Yeah.
Yes. Go to get your sun, get your tan, do it in a pool, SPF 50. If you're like me, SPF 500.
Just wear Magellan. I think we've talked about this. I don't know. Why is this a problem?
The other day, Arnie was
Dressed like
asking
my
me,
grandpa.
Arnie was asking me if I had sunscreen before we went to the pool. And he asked if I had PDF. And I was like, SPF? Yeah.
He's so funny. I think he's the funniest guy.
Ridiculous.
Is he like the male Gloria from Modern Family, where just some words just aren't quite right, some phrasing's not quite right?
There was a bread ordering fiasco the other day.
Oh my God.
Please.
Those little breads, the bolilo. I don't know. He tried to order 6 little breads, but then they ended up being like massive loaves of bread.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
they've got bread for the rest of the year.
So if you'd like some bread, come see our freezer.
That's great. Well, a long list of things to do, see, and be a part of at the Chamber. As always, thank you for joining us. If you want to become a member of the Chamber or join us for some of the events that you just heard about and more, visit us at AustinLGBTChamber.com. If you want to be a guest or a podcast sponsor, you can email us at info@AustinLGBTChamber.com. Be sure to check out past episodes of the show, follow us, and check out new episodes every Friday at noon, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.